Very good afternoon again, dear colleagues, and welcoming you at the platform of the Congress Center of Media Group Russia today. We're holding roundtable under the theme, the recipe of export, and in today's new normal, all countries have increased significantly the research development, but not only the pandemic is the key driver of economic growth. The demographic factor influences the market, the aging of the population, and the increasing of life expectancy are among these factors. And Russia takes a significant part in exporting pharmaceutical production and medical equipment, and Russia takes one of the leading roles in this regard, and the export has increased significantly to Africa, and Nigeria has become one of the top 5 importers from Russia. Mr. Kazakov is the head of the business department of Melita company. Very good afternoon, dear colleagues. I would like to extend thanks to the organizers for this unique opportunity to hold this round table despite the distances that separate us. And today we will share knowledge and best practices in terms of export and interaction between our countries and our peoples. And especially it is very much instrumental in the context of pandemic of COVID-19, and the export of pharmaceutical production is very much important. Melita company, which I represent, has chosen its main mission, which has been over more than a decade, to say no to mortality. And when we talk about export, we are absolutely sincere, and we're safe to say that one of the ingredients of success is the product itself that we export, that we propose for export to our other countries. And in a couple of words, I can brief you on our production so that you can understand how we interact with our foreign partners. I will do it, of course, take into account the situation with the pandemic and, of course, the problem of every infection which deals with the provision of medical aid to people is very much essential. Medical personnel is just a very good foundation for that, and because we need to have very much trained personnel, and we need to disinfect the premises. And one of the problems of the COVID is the lack of disinfection. There are 4 sectors. This is the patient, medical personnel, the environment, and the wards. And disinfection of the wards plays an essential role in this regard. Our company produces pulsed UV robots, and this is one of the essential instruments of disinfection. Now, just we resort to chemical methods of disinfection. But the focus of our meeting today is laid on the export, import operations. But when we talk about the prevention of different infections, we mean physical disinfection. And therefore, we say about the cleaning of the premises of the wards. And currently there are 2 methods. This is a classic xenon lamps, which are very much productive, but unfortunately they cannot deal with all the problems. And xenon technology that proved to be very much effective in many other countries. We produce portable robots which are oriented to certain markets. And what is the difference between the classical lamps and xenon lamps? This is the difference lies in technology. The technology helps to produce the full range of the spectrum, the full spectrum, which kills all the bacteria. It affects not only the cell itself, but the structure of the cell. The proof of the effectiveness has been done for a decade already, and we have done more than 60 research works in this regard. When the coronavirus infection emerged, we conducted testing in the Central Research Center. And our lamps proved to be efficient, and the rate of efficiency amounted to 100%. And the recipe of the success is that we take an example of South Africa. More than 40 our robots are operating in South Africa in different hospitals in different provinces of this country. They're used in hospitals, outpatient hospitals, and rehabilitation centers, which are very much essential, especially for the patients of COVID-19. And one of the keys of success of cooperation with our African partners is that we can hear each other well. Next thing what we do is the disinfection of ambulances in South Africa. Before that, so they were used sprays to disinfect these ambulances, and it took some hours to disinfect an ambulance. Our African partners were seeking the solution to this problem, and actually they found out that our equipment can help to deal with this problem in this region. As of today, South Africa is not the only country where we import our robots, but South Africa has been the first country we started to export our robots to. So only some very little time is needed to disinfect ambulances, and they're prepared to work. Another thing is the disinfection of sanitary aviation in South Africa, and our robots are used for that purpose. And for example, if you break the classical lamp, which work, mercurium lamp, so it can pose a serious danger. If it happens with the xenon lamp, there will be no negative consequences. And our African partners appreciated our product, and we have carved a niche in South Africa. Coming back to the other most secret ingredient of the success of our interaction is a very good cooperation, the establishment of constructive dialogue and rendering service in due time, because we not only supply this product, it's only the initial stage, and you can see the follow-up work. Our colleagues from Africa visit hospitals equipped by our robots, and the team of instructors work there, and they instruct medical personnel how to work with these robots. And the key to the success, of course, is human capital. whether they see the potential of our product and whether they will want to use it further. And we gained success in South Africa to this regard. And regarding the servicing of our robots, all the decisions are taken together. We diagnose the problems together. It concerns also software, and it can be done just on the site. It can be done in the hospital. So therefore, there is no need to suspend the disinfection of the hospitals, and our partners have found a solution of servicing these robots just on the site in the hospitals. Another factor of success is that in our view, our companies should, and our company should learn from you and learn our lessons. And we have modified the construction of our robots because in order to adapt these robots to the needs of the African market. And we have come to the conclusion that the product, albeit it is very much successful, and there is no similar products in the world, it's not enough because we have to update these robots each time, and it needs additional functions in order to save lives. And therefore, we have updated software that helps medical workers to control the disinfection as it is. And so they get the feedback from the robot due to software, and it helps to disinfect the wards better. And we also conducted joint tests, joint experiments together with our African partners. It is the key to success in this region. As a result, we get not only positive feedbacks, so it's indicated in this press release. For example, HERP uses successfully our robots for the disinfection of ambulances, wards, and what is more important for us is to get a reliable partner that trusts in our production. Also, I would like to note that the sales of the product is not enough, and therefore we share best practices with other companies of the world, for example, to create special teams of nurses, of medical workers that can be trained. And I'm very happy to learn that in Africa you have set up training centers for instructing medical personnel. And our experts visit South Africa and render service, and they provide for assistance in terms of training personnel. People are inspired by our robots, and they understand that their work is very much essential for the hospitals because they save lives. I have to reiterate that cooperation is very much essential. This is what is very much instrumental for us because just we should rely on our partner. And I know that you can ask a question about our presence in South Africa. and we have been operating in South African market since 2012. And when the pandemic emerged, we were prepared for that, and we were already equipped with a certain experience how to deal with the infection, and we're prepared to move forward. We are operating currently only in South Africa, and it is in our interest to expand our operation to other countries of Africa and regions of Africa. And so this is just my contacts. So either in the internet or in WhatsApp, or you can send me email, and we're looking forward to your requests. We're looking forward to cooperation. We're open for it, and we're looking forward to further contacts. And the next speaker, Ms. Rybalova, and she will be she will elaborate on specific proposals to our African partners. Thank you very much. I represent the industrial sector of Moscow, because just in times of pandemic, we were working from home. And so we conducted many events online and even exhibitions. And we, a whole month we have spent in online discussions and video conferences promoting our production. I represent Vosmetec, a company. We produce medical lasers in dermatology, in surgery, gynecology, physiotherapy, and laser technologies are advancing very fast, and practically every 2 months we embark on new direction of development. The first, it is the lifting without surgery, without any. And therefore, using this body lifting, we can produce beautiful bodies, and this procedure can be done within 2 hours. It is very much demanded, and we instruct doctors how to do it, and we share our protocols. Gynecology is it is used in gynecology. Unique technology is what it is all about. It is two laser, two hard body laser, which are integrated, and they produce very good effect. And I have spoken about dermatology, and it is reinvigorating of skin and body lifting, etc. And separately, I would like to mention that many procedures that medical procedure can be adapted to African market, and our device has already implies already this possibility. We cooperate closely with many embassies, and we have already applied these procedures. And since the time of the first Russian-American forum, we have established the interaction with dermatologists, which took internship in France, and currently they take internship with us, and so they use these technologies which I promote today. And what is good about it, that after this training, they can immediately start applying this technology. in clinics. We produce it not only on the territory of Moscow, but also we provide for training, and we retrain dermatologists and gynecologists, and we train them. We cooperate closely with the medical university named after Sechenov, and our doctors, and many African doctors actually studied at Sechenov Medical University, among others, and therefore they build the capacity, their capacity together with us. We adapt our device to the needs of doctors. For example, a doctor can say that I'm a dermatologist, but I want to be specialized in this and this, and we adapt this multifunctional laser to his needs and requirements. We upgrade the level of his training, and at the end of this training process, he's awarded with a certificate of a professional certificate, and actually within following 3 years, we support these doctors. We award doctors with the certificate C. And our equipment also is awarded the certificate C, and it is installed not only in Russia, but also in the other countries in the Middle East, for example. And these technologies are widely recognized in this segment, and I invite you for cooperation. We're working in the regime in the format of video conference. Now, I would like to give the floor to our African colleagues, Charles Iheanacho. He's the General Director of Intellect Group. Mr. Charles, can you hear us well?
Yes, I can. Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Charles Iheanacho. I am a pharmacist. I am the founder and chairman of Intellect Group. Intellect Group is a group of companies that has several companies under it. But basically, we're a research-based company that look into herbs to see how we could design products that enable disease treatment. We're categorized in 5 groups. We have our organic skincare division. We have our pharmaceuticals, the herbs that we use after designing to treat diseases like malaria, to treat diseases like hepatitis and all that, fertility, diabetes. We are also into nutraceuticals, where we design food products, tea, cereals for malnutrition. And we are also into pharmaceuticals. We produce locally some over-the-counter drugs like the cough medicines, the mild analgesics like acetaminophen, that's paracetamol, Panadol, that's what they call it there. And we're also into agricultural crop solutions. Our mission is very simple. We simplify disease treatment so that we could save lives and financially reward our business partners. And our vision is to seamlessly merge science and herbal medicine so as to become an integral part of the global healthcare delivery system. But the thing is this, an interesting thing happened. The Moscow Chamber of Commerce, when we got discussing with them, we were expressing our interest in globalizing our business dealings. And because we believe in Russia, we would like to have relationships with viable companies from Russia. So we were introduced to 2 companies. One is called BioInnovaTech. BioInnovaTech is a biotechnology manufacturing company in Kazan that is into production. They design and they produce agri solutions like organic fertilizers, organic herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, and growth stimulators. And we also introduced to another company from Russia that is called TestGene. TestGene, they are manufacturers of test kits for molecular genetics in the areas of prenatal diagnosis, the area of oncology, viruses, human genetics, and plants. An interesting thing is happening in Nigeria. This is the first time that a company like ours have been opportuned to discuss with another company from Russia to introduce to the Nigerian market solutions that will enable the complete elimination of mosquitoes. You know, mosquito and malaria and the diseases that are caused by mosquitoes are mainly the diseases of the tropics. And every year, WHO has actually informed us statistically that over 180 million Nigerians must suffer from malaria. And we all know that malaria is caused by infected female Anopheles mosquitoes. Now, there's a company called Disinfection I'm talking about that introduced us to a solution of theirs that is called the biolarvicide. What biolarvicide has done for Nigerians is to specifically target the eggs and larvae of mosquitoes to eliminate them, thereby eliminating the life cycle of mosquitoes so that we no longer have adult mosquitoes that will ever rise up to cause malaria, cause dengue fever, cause yellow fever, cause filariasis, onchocerciasis, and elephantiasis, and all that. That is one of the things we're benefiting from here. Secondly, the agri solutions, like the fungicides, the pesticides, and all that, is the first that is being introduced into the Nigerian market. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian government, through an agency under the presidency called the National Agency for Land Development Authority, is adopting this product because of what is already doing in the market as a national policy for every farmer in Nigeria that is operating in all the 774 local governments we have in the country to start using this product. The idea is to make sure that crop yield in the Nigeria market is increased by over 50%. This is unprecedented. It has never happened before. That is for the agri side. Then for the test gene, this is also the first time that such test kit is introduced into the Nigerian market. This saves lives. So what it means is that with the partnership we have formed with Test Gene from Russia, we're beginning to authentically, genuinely provide doctors and health professionals the right information that they require for disease treatment. No one has ever done this before. You no longer walk blindly. You can actually predict exactly what the challenges of a patient will be or are, so that you can actually deploy the best treatment to save this group of individuals. Also, we have all gotten into other business discussions through the Moscow Chamber of Commerce, where Nigeria is the 9th oil producers in the world, but we have a problem here. Our refineries are not working exactly the way they should. And the government is beginning to decentralize the oil and gas sector. On the strength of this, our partners in Russia are beginning to help us introduce us to lubricants that are required or are needed by the industries, especially in the south region of Nigeria, where you have 97% of the oil and gas industry located. We're discussing in this field, and we're also discussing the areas of AG importation, because due to the power challenges in Nigeria, a lot of power generating sets are being used here, and our Russian partners are helping us to come down to this side. This has placed us as a very good position since we started discussing and doing business with Russian government. To reign today have been valued by our financial consultants at about $45 million, just in a few months of doing business with our Russian counterparts. That is why when this stakeholders forum came up, I was so excited that we're going to be part of this, so that we can tell the world what we have been benefiting just by this single relationship we have forged with the Russian companies. And we hope to increase this capacity, and also to talk about interest in the Russian companies coming into Africa, because Africa has a huge potential. Take, for instance, the African population is about 1.2 billion people. And Nigerian population, which is actually about the second biggest economy, is about 220 million people. And when you look at the millennials there, the active population of people that are activating the market, it is over 60% of persons. So you can see how viable this economy is. with more companies from Russia coming into the African continent, it's going to be a massive reward. Take, for instance, everyone is here. The Chinese people are here. The American people are here. The Russian companies, and with the type of products and services that we can see that they have, it is going to be a wonderful business, viable relationship with everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very much for finding the time to participate. And now we'll have a representative of Intellect Groups, Arsen Narinovich Arkelian, speaking. He's an executive director. Mr. Arkelian, you have the floor. Tell us what you are doing. Thank you very much. Svetlana, thank you very much, colleagues. We're working in outfitting medical and laboratory centers with various types of equipment. Regarding the equipment, it's heavy medical machinery and also computer tomographs and MRI devices. Regarding lab analytical equipment, we also include here complex equipment for chromatography and mass spectrometry. And when we consider experts, when we consider the recipe for experts, from the experience that we have, besides our experience in Russia, we're also in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Armenia. Actually, our experience hints that we also very tightly cooperate with local markets, our local representation. It allows us to always hear our customers, to always listen to them, and to work very tightly with the customers regarding our profile. Then in analytical equipment, now we consider it a very relevant and pressing topic, especially when we talk about epidemiologic oversight and control. It is indeed very important, so that just like we do this accent on this now in Russia, same thing happens in the world. We're sure that our African partners, our African colleagues also saw an increase in their attention. Of course, this is control and monitoring, and this control and monitoring is carried out at all stages. And for us, it's very important that we outfit the laboratories and lab complexes. We carry out usually per request following a turnkey approach. We fully understand the task that each specific customer of ours faces, and we solve that specific task. Well, the pleasant part for the company from what we do is that if we speak about, excluding heavy machinery, lion's share of equipment that we outfit is Russian produced, Russian made from leading players. It's very high quality, very competitive. And what is also very important in terms of service and maintenance regarding high-tech equipment, for sure, as my colleagues have underlined before, this is the most sensitive part when shipping equipment. Of course, it's very important that it's Russian equipment, and on service level, it doesn't fall behind. Regarding global leaders, regarding competition, of course, Russian equipment in analytics and in testing is very competitive in terms of price. For us, it's also a very significant factor of success, because we see that those are big complex projects, saving of budgets, and the organizations that outfit also, we see what is carried out. We see a very sensitive monitoring of sanitary and epidemiological services. This is, first of all, food safety. In Russia, we have this state body as well, that carries out control of food safety, and basically this is environmental control, and this is regarding quality of water, quality of air, and quality of ground. Our equipment allows to be very competitive in price to price ratio, and also to do analysis, all this analysis for all international standards. Some of them even some of them even see legal status in various areas. And regarding the partners and companies and entities that will look for in Africa, we're looking for partners interested in working with medical equipment of Russian-made medical equipment with highly qualified teams and entities such as our company that would be able to fully understand the task on the complex basis and not only on a local basis, and also to offer solutions that would be the most viable for the corresponding customer for given the best prices. This is our profile. This is what we do. We are developing, and we see that we're talking about African content organizations. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to use these opportunities once again. We'll have Mrs. Humbuzon Gazavana, who will tell us more about pharmaceutical market of Africa. This is the president of Chiara Health. Hello, Mr. Gazavana. Good day to you.
Good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you for the invitation to participate in this forum. So, I mean, as you rightfully said, my brief is to say a little bit about the pharmaceutical market in Africa. I think the first thing is to obviously start with the numbers. We know from projections from the likes of McKinsey, from IQVIA, Frost & Sullivan, that the market is estimated anywhere between $40 and $60 billion. This was a projection actually that was made a couple of years ago, and 2020 was this magical year where they're expecting the market to exceed $45 billion for the first time. It's a growing market. It's growing in double digits. I mean, some countries like Nigeria, probably 17, 18, Ethiopia, 25%, more than 100 million people. Other markets, Kenya, South Africa, probably in the lower double digits, but certainly a growing market driven in part by the aging population, by the growing disease burden, by the increase in non-communicable diseases and all of that. And certainly, you know, what you're also seeing is besides the size of the market, which is sizable and growing every year, there's also a significant shift and focus towards quality, right? In the past, our African, market was largely supplied by products from two predominant groups. You had companies from the West, mostly a multinational supplying, a quality assured product that's a little bit pricey for most people. Hence, they sort of tended to supply only the private sector and didn't play much of a role in the public markets. You then had companies that predominantly come from the East that supply, an affordable product, or some people would say a cheaper product, quote unquote, but oftentimes of variable quality. Certainly the top companies from the East, say from India and whatever, supply quality products, but your lower tier companies will come with products of variable quality. But of course, besides the size of the market and the supply, what one sees is, there's a significant growth in the local pharmaceutical manufacturing sector. We have in excess, I sit on the board of the Federation of African Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association. We have in excess of 500 members from across the region, West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa. We have a number of companies that meet international standards, have WHO pre-qualification, and some have approvals by some one or two stringent authorities. Of course, with all of that said, as I said in the plenary, the challenge with a lot of our companies is they still have very limited portfolios. Because of the limited portfolios, what you see is that almost 70% of the finished formulations that come into the African continent to supply African needs are obviously imported products. So the local companies produce roughly about 30%. Most of them would produce, your older, molecules, whether it's your anti-diabetics, antihypertensives, it's largely your older molecules. A lot of them, operate in the nutraceutical space. So there's significant room for cooperation and for partnerships where, for example, leading Russian companies could come and partner with some of these companies, help them increase their portfolios, help them to, develop new products, new technologies, to be able to meet the demand locally and compete with the Asian markets. Something that is very important to understand is, for a long time, the continent depended on imported product, API, almost 100% imported practically. So this dependence on imported product has been a challenge for many, many reasons. We've had a number of occasions, for example, if there's a cyclone in India, Hyderabad, or if there was something with the Olympics and the Chinese shut down the suppliers of intermediates, Africa would basically catch a cold and there'd be a shortage of significant essential drugs. So what has happened as a consequence of this is over the last 15 years or so, the momentum for supporting and growing local production has increased. It started with the African Union heads of state and government in Abuja when they called for the development of these competencies on the African continent. And that culminated in the development of the Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Plan for Africa, which is a strategic document that seeks to develop the pharma industry on the continent. I had the privilege of leading the development of that work. Subsequent to that, a number of countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, Kenya, have all developed their specific pharma sector strategies with a very heavy emphasis on developing local production. And some of the measures that these countries have adopted include things like expedited registrations for products to be procured or to be manufactured locally, preferences in government tenders, price preferences as well when you tender for the government, and a number of other groundbreaking incentive schemes. So I think maybe as one wraps to a close, there are some challenges for the African pharma sector, but certainly if you look into the future, there are significant opportunities coming through. I've mentioned the size of the market. I've mentioned the increasing focus on local production, but there are certainly other things that are happening in the background. For example, the African Free Trade Continental Agreement will open up opportunities for African manufacturers. We know obviously about the increasing economic development. We know that a lot of the funders of the global public health programs that are situated in Africa are also starting to shift, and the mindset is now to say support more locally produced products. So this is an industry that has had challenges, whether it's HR or this or that, but there are significant developments that seem to show that it is going to grow. One of the most significant is the harmonization of regulatory processes across the country, across the continent. It initially started in the regions with the East African, Regulatory Harmonization Initiative. The Southern African Development Corporation had the same thing. Of course, ECOWAS as well in West Africa. But now, as we speak, the African Medicines Agency is going to be a reality very soon, with more than 30 countries that have already acceded to the AMA Act, I call it an act or declaration. So very shortly, I think what you'll see is the ability to submit a dossier and get registrations across multiple jurisdictions in Africa. So in closing, what I would say is, there are a significant number of companies on the African continent that have been servicing this market with significant challenges and with significant limitations. They have built significant brands, they are trusted, but of course, they are looking for partnerships. And I think it's probably high time that Russian companies look at coming in to partner, to whether it's joint ventures or simple licensing and technology transfers, but to build the bridges to begin to bring some of the expertise and the technology and the products that you have and partner with African companies that know these markets to serve the people and to meet the demand for critical, essential and vital medicines. I think I'll stop there and thank you for the opportunity once again.
Thank you very much. And in your turn, and now with the presentation of their company, we'll hear Alice Antonio Bardinais, CEO of Intellect Group. Please, Alice Antonio, you have the floor. Good day to you. I would like to present to you our company. We work in producing medical disposable materials. Our experience has a history of more than 20 years. We've started with traditional medical disposables, what back then was considered to be the most actively used in our medicine. And in the future, the company moved to producing quite a wide range of medical disposable materials. Now we produce means of medical protection devices. We produce antiseptical solutions. We produce disinfective wipes and tissues. And several years ago, we were quite active in rolling out this product to the market that can help us stop burns and bleedings. And because we have been quite actively in our professional activities cooperating with the doctors, then we ask a question, what is our medicine like today? And as a result of this, we have developed product which is quite complex indeed. This is a special kind of finish, special kind of cover for treating various trophical ulcers and skin lesions. As practice shows, patients who need such product are quite numerous indeed. And when we can see the treatment or sustaining solutions in comfort, so that this problem is not cause any problems to the patient. They're not that many, and the task that we set for ourselves 2 years ago, and it leads to the fact that here in the territory of the Moscow region, in Dubna Special Economic Zone, we built an industrial plant, industrial enterprise. Now we're in the stage of launch. Almost everything is ready. The equipment is installed, and we are ready to start producing this new medical product. And in the second area that also interests us very much, and we are doing quite a lot of work in this regard, is stopping acute bleedings. Also, products for carrying out emergency medical help, also in various military wounds, because you know that it's very important to save the human life in first minute. If no help is given, then the bleeding becomes too serious to sustain, and then we have different bleeding out. So the developments that we're now working and the developments that we now use to do the administration, these are devices that will be used in those situations with serious and severe bleedings. And I think that things we do, things where we show on this or experience, we see the products that we produce on a serial basis, and they are going to be interesting to our colleagues. And on the African continent, we really understand well that today any medical device, first of all, has to be safe and efficient. Our companies, having understood that, our companies on the path and on the is on this path and on this trajectory. We produce lots of small medical products. Also, the tissue that's used for breath stimulation has to be really effective. It has, to a certain moment of time, really quickly and efficiently save a human's life. And I'm really thankful to my colleagues who support my idea in this. And it's not only our labor, we also see the meaning of our life in this. And I'm really thankful to everybody, to the organizers of this meeting, for having the opportunity to state about ourselves and to say that now we're front runners in this, and we have support also in organizers of this meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you for agreeing to take part in it. And we see that. Let's give the word to Alexander Shapiro Suleiman, President of Economic Center for Peace. A good day to you. I'm also Center of Economic Center for Peace. I represent the Alliance of the Peoples of the World. Our alliance represents people interested in interacting with African friends and countries, and also we also have this economic center for Israel and Middle East. They hold peace talks, and it's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure to to see what you're providing. I'm also a specialist in this, and now I will not say things for advancement, but we've been partners. Also now even before the pandemic, we started building various plans for medical disposable materials. Thank you very much. We're waiting for our African friends, and we are gladly ready to also bring in our other African partners. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Now we have the time for questions. And if you have any questions, then come. Do we have any people from the room who I think that is quite serious? And let's be, you've been very brief, but very understandable, told about yourself. And I hope that it will be continued. We'll be glad to see you at our platform once again. Thank you very much.